Hello, and welcome back to This Week in Workforce, the podcast brought to you by Workforce Solutions Northeast Texas. My name is Bart Spivey, and as always, I'm joined today by Jeff Clapp. Jeff, we've talked about how long you've been in your current job with Workforce Solutions, but I'm also curious, what was your first job?
But I was actually kind of lucky. I ended up having two jobs within a week after I turned 16. So I worked at a local grocery store and at a local church. And it was kind of after high school that I started kind of jumping around because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And we kind of talked about that before. But I had a ton of different occupations and places after that before I kind of found my niche.
Right. And without, there may be a few people out there, but without exception, for the most part, everybody's going to have different jobs throughout their life, right? So that first job is very critical to their long-term success. And there's a number of ways to get your foot in the door and get that first job. So I'm curious, have you ever used an employment agency or a staffing agency?
I did. Some of the occupations I jumped around to, that was how I got into them. I was a young newlywed right out of high school, so I ended up wanting to take care of my family pretty quickly right after, and the staffing agencies and employment agencies that I worked with really helped. And in fact, the job I'm at now is one I got through a group of exceptional employment professionals.
All right, well, excellent. And in talking about that, with the new job, maybe you're just out of high school or you're starting your career, we have a guest today that can give us more insight to that, and we're happy to introduce Mr. Joey Martin, owner of Express Employment Professionals, located in Texarkana, Arkansas. Joey, thanks for joining us. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, excellent. So if you live in the Texarkana area, you've no doubt been involved in an event or a program that Express and Joey have either put on or sponsored. They sponsor a lot of our workforce events, such as the LEAP Expo we had for 8th grade students yesterday. So first of all, thank you for that. We do appreciate the support.
Glad to do it. Great event.
And if you could, for those that don't know, can you give us a little explanation on the mission of Express Employment Professionals?
Okay. Our mission every day is to help people, great people find great companies, and vice versa, great companies to find great people. That's our mission every day. We set out to make an impact on people's lives, and that's the rewarding point of it. And we've been here for 32 years in Texarkana, and we have thoroughly been blessed.
Excellent. So, Joey, like Bart said, you've been a part of the community, and you just mentioned how long you've been, or Express has been a part of this community as well. How did you get started with Express, though?
I got started with Express. I was living in Oklahoma City and finishing up college, getting my accounting degree. And at that point in the early 90s, late 80s, there was not two jobs for every applicant. There was 15 applicants for every job. And so I was throwing newspapers at the time trying to finish college, and saw an ad in the paper for a payroll clerk. And I thought that's about as close to accounting as I can get with my grade point average, because I was not a very good student. But so I answered it. It ended up being a position with Express that processed payrolls at night for the different locations across the country. So I got that position and worked my last year and a half through college. And then after getting my accounting degree, I got on board with Express at the corporate office there in the accounting team, in corporate accounting. And so I worked 7 years there and had progressed up pretty well. And a lady came to me that was the developer regional manager over this Northeast Texas, Southwest Arkansas territory, and asked me and said, "Would you like to own your business someday? Own your own business someday?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "Well, you seem like you got too much personality for an accountant." And I thought, is that a compliment, or is she to tell me, So I visited with her and then came down here. This was 1997, and met with the owners and took a job as a general manager, and worked for them and became a partner, and they retired out after 10 years. And we've been doing it ever since, 26 years last February.
Oh, wow. So it's a true kind of, you built your way up from the
Very,
bottom.
very, very
Right.
bottom.
Right. So what is it with this type of work that, I mean, helping people find careers really, that you would really enjoy the most?
I'm a firm believer in that. It's helping people. And when we hire our internal staff, you know, we tell them we're a good company to work for, I believe, and our staff will speak on that. But we tell people that, you know, if helping people excites you and motivates you for someone to come in and say thank you, you know, I needed help. I need help. I need to get my career restarted. I'm moving into town. I know nobody. The money will come. But you don't need to come work for us if money's the motivator. If that passion to help people is there, money will come. And, you know, we have a very tenured staff from 25 years to 18, 15, 12 across the board. And, you know, that's kind of been our motto is, you know, people first.
Right. So the workforce board, the workforce system, and Express, we kind of have the same mission in a lot of ways, right? And one of the things that we always focus on is there's two parts to helping someone find a job. There's the job seeker, which you obviously need, but also equally as important is the employer who needs that person. So I know you work with a lot of employers in the area. What are some of the most common types of occupations that you help people find or you help employers fill? And then I guess what are the most in-demand occupations at the present time?
Okay. Yes, we've with our relationships with lots of employers in our community that we've been blessed to help serve and be a partner with. You know, we're strategically in line with them. You know, when they foresee something coming up, a position or staffing changes. You know, they're either adding a product line or having to make some changes. Back in the 2008 recession, I told people, I was a firm believer that nobody had a bigger impact on company survival during that time than the staffing industry. You know, we were able to, you know, they couldn't maintain staff over a solid 12-month period, so we were able to get them the people they needed when their orders were coming in, and then when they were coming out, we were able to take those people and place them in other opportunities so they can feed their families and maintain their lifestyles. But the companies were able to hit their budgets, and, you know, back then that was survival. And so I was very proud of our, not just our company, but our industry. Right now we're seeing lots of entry-level positions that are opportunities, and those entry-level positions are giving people right out of high school opportunities to come in and progress quickly. You know, you come in and you have the skills, the ethics, accountability. You know, you can move up a lot faster than you and I did. You know, their first 10 years, they're going to move up a lot faster if they do the right thing. Companies have programs in place to see them progress, development plans. We see a lot of in demand right now, industrial maintenance. You know, we are a very manufacturing-driven community here. So industrial maintenance, electrical, fabricators, welders, CDL drivers are in high demand. But we have lots of those entry-level positions that, you know, if you're the student that worked through high school and you were an employee at McDonald's for 2 years and you worked through there and you've graduated and you want to go on to something, or McDonald's is a great place great managerial program to go through and great careers. But that is something that companies today look at and they're very impressed, you know, that type of leadership, accountability, responsibility, and that is very impressive to employers right now.
And you mentioned, of all the occupations you mentioned, I don't think any of them require a bachelor's degree, a 4-year degree. You know, they're all either a certificate, associates maybe, or even some just straight out of high school. And I think I know you and I have talked about this a lot, and it's kind of an ongoing conversation and challenge is how to let young people know that even though you're starting at this point, there's so many more opportunities beyond that. And it's hard sometimes, looking back when I was that age, I can definitely relate. It's hard to see past that entry level position, right? But I know all of our employers would prefer to promote from within. So they get those hardworking people in those entry level jobs, and then something, a supervisor position or a management position comes open. They would rather promote somebody that's been with them and has proven themselves on their operation floor. So I think it's really important to make sure that we continue to talk to young people about these opportunities and let them kind of paint that picture for them, so that they know it doesn't stop here. It's based on how hard you work and what you're willing to do, but you can advance in the company.
Yes, and our tech schools are second to none. We in our community, we have Texarkana College, and then University of Arkansas Hope Texarkana, both have great industrial programs and can give a student the foundation to start. And like you said, our companies here locally, they understand the situation the labor supply is in. So they've developed programs, mentor programs, development programs. So coming out with a welding or industrial maintenance, or just coming right out of high school, these companies, lots of them, the ones that are really succeeding in this tight labor supply, have those programs in place to where they can sit down with a new employee and say, okay, what's your interest? Where do you want to be in 2 years, 5 years, and help them develop that program right there within that company.
Right.
I mean, it's their it's two-way street. It's the employee's investment and it's the company's investment, and it's great to see them doing that.
Yeah, and we see a lot of that because that's kind of our realm, right? Not everybody witnesses that part of it, but there is a lot of that going on behind the scenes, and employers are doing everything they can to attract quality candidates and then keep them once they get them there. So that's a good
another
thing.
thing, Bart, was talking about our colleges. Going to a conference a couple of months ago, engineering, medical, accounting, IT are going to be huge in the next 10 to 20 years. Mm-hmm. With the tight labor supply that we're in, the robotics, the engineering, you're going to see more and more of our manufacturers go into automation because we're going to be forced to,
right?
With a tight labor supply like we have. And so therefore those 4-year programs that A&M offers in engineering, our medical, accounting, IT, those are all going to be huge, mm-hmm. great careers.
Right. Excellent. So, okay, if you want to learn more about Express Employment Professionals, or if you want to get in contact with them, you can visit their website at expresstexarkana.com. That's expresstexarkana.com. Everything you need to know is on there, but you can also call them. Phone numbers on there, address, go visit them. If you're interested to learn more about them, definitely visit that site and check them out.
Yeah, go to our website, expresstexarkana.com, and it'll have the icon there to apply. Fill that out. Someone will contact you within 24 hours. Come by our location. We're there with open arms. Come by and talk to us. We'll talk about anything, any career you want to talk about. We're at 3206 Jefferson, and we're in the process of relocating to another building, which we hope to be in by November 1st. But our bricks and mortar's on Jefferson, but our service area for 32 years has been Cass County, Bowie County in Texas, Miller, Hempstead, Howard, Lafayette County. And so we cover Northeast Texas and Southwest Arkansas and have for 32 years. Right. But please come by.
Many of the people, when they hear an employment agency or staffing agency or something like that, they think more kind of like the day labor type positions. I mean, it's going to be short term no matter what. I know not only from working with you, but also from personal experience that that's not always the case. But for those that have never kind of been able to be an Express employee yet, what type of variety of positions?
Yeah,
you can have?
It's changed tremendously. Maybe 10% of our business is maybe 10% to 15% is what you would call day-to-day, projects, clean up at a construction site. But, manufacturing, we have a new division, that specialized recruiting group with Express that we've launched, and currently looking for mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, staff accountants, controllers, information technology directors,
And these are more long-term, permanent
long-term,
positions.
high-salaried position. Like Bart said, back into the 4-year degree programs. And that's in the skilled trades, which would be out of the technicals. Again, your industrial maintenance, your electrical, your CDL drivers, welders, fabricators, pipe fitters are very strong.
So it's-
Sorry, you mentioned somebody, if they're interested, they can fill out the form, and somebody from your office will contact them. What happens from that point if you get called in to do an interview or whatever? What's that process like? What can someone expect?
What'll happen on that? You'll fill out your application online. That's kind of the way we went to. But we will contact you within 24 hours, and at that point, what we want to establish is we work for the applicant. We work for the applicant. We want to find you what you want first. We want to listen to you about what your dreams are, what you want to get to in your next career, and then we'll start going backwards and saying, okay, what experience do you have so we can market you to those areas you want to be in. And our goal is to get you in there because we believe that, a happy employee makes a long-term employee for our client companies. And if we're not able to get you in there, we want to be upfront and honest and say, this is why we cannot. This is our challenge. And if you want to go that way, we've even, through our years of working with workforce and the colleges, we have relationships that we can direct these people to say, hey, if you really want to be industrial maintenance and you've just worked on general maintenance, around your house or something of lighter, non-industrial, then we can get them connected with the programs in our community.
And that's, one thing I even know from personal experience. I worked with Express at one point, and it was on a job I wasn't too fond of at the time. But I called and told them, hey, I'll be here until you can find me something else, but the sooner the better.
Yes, yeah.
And that was actually, the next job I got was actually in an office. And that's kind of what started my career in the office side of things. Before that, it was warehouse, industrial, and anything that required muscle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's just because I was entry level at that time.
Yeah. This past summer, I think we employed 32 or 33 college students and high school graduates. So, they were coming in, and parents that we know in the community were saying, just find them a job, please.
Right,
Get them
right.
started. Get them off the couch. Get them started. Get their career started, and let them identify what the value of a dollar is. And so we were able to get some people started in the workforce like that, and then now so they've transitioned to back to college, and we have some openings we need to fill.
And that's a good point, talking about the parent aspect of it, because a lot of students in high school, they might find an easy job, waiting tables, things like that, and that's fine. But if you want them to get a little experience, a little more experience, even possibly some supervisory experience or working on an industrial operation, that's a good way to get them started, is to contact you guys. There's lots of entry-level positions out there, and even if it's just for a year or a summer, that gives them that experience that once they do graduate high school and then maybe attend a community college or a university, they've got that to fall back on. And that's something employers really value, is that hands-on experience in that setting to show them what they've done, and maybe that can prove to the employer what type of quality employee they can be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was there any tips that you'd give to potential applicants that they might want to make sure they do on their application or their resume to make sure they're looked at by some of these potential employers?
Well, first thing is, be excited, about going and starting your work career. And, when you're asked to fill out an application, whether it be on computer or on a piece of paper, complete it, be prepared to, know your dates of employment and your companies and who they can call for a reference, and even contact your former employers and ask them if they can contact, your future employer can contact them for a reference. The big thing is, these days there's two jobs to every applicant right now waiting on you. So more than likely you're going to get an interview, or get to visit with someone. But be excited, and be on time, and early's on time. Be excited, be mannerly, and the future's yours. The opportunity is so different than when we started.
Okay.
We had 10 people fighting for one opening,
Right.
and then you had to work 10 years to get that next opportunity to advance up. And for those that are coming out right now, it's wide open. Opportunities there for them. Just be excited.
Right. Great. That's great advice. Our service area extends beyond yours. I mean, we overlap somewhat. We kind of have different service areas on the outskirts. We do have other express locations in our service area. So if someone's listening, let's say in Sulphur Springs, they would go to a different express office, their local office. How do the services vary between those offices, yours and some of the other sites out there?
Well, the process as far as screening and the application process, they're standard. And that's the express system that we've been audited, ISO 2020, whatever it is now,
Right.
21, 22. But the process is is similar. Some offices have more opportunities in certain industries, and but just contact the local express office, and they're usually expresstexarkana.com, expresssulphursprings.com,
Okay.
expresstyler.com.
Okay.
And I talk to them weekly, so I know they're looking for good employees just like we are, and but they'd be glad to have the applicants apply.
Excellent. So you've mentioned it before, but you've grown with Express. You've been with them for a while. Started low at the bottom, if you will, and then now you own the location here. Jeff actually informed me, and you mentioned earlier y'all are planning a move to a different location here. So with that and with everything else, what are your goals for the future of Express?
We are moving, bought a building we're going to double our size, and we have a couple of growth opportunities in our business that we needed space, and we wanted to venture out in a couple of areas that we thought we could help the community, and that is a specialized recruiting group, which is your high executive level, professional level, and that's where I go back into that department, which Heather Buster leads. She's been with us 15 years, and she's been in charge of our office administration, and now she's taking on this challenge. But that is working with your engineers, your accountants, your IT people, and that's an impact we think we can have, because we got a lot of people that have came to us, people that get transferred to our community, and then the spouse, they have their careers.
Right.
And so our companies are looking for those people, and we think we can make an impact to our community by making that connection, and we recruit that nationally for those candidates. And but we would like everybody to know that, if you're relocated to Texarkana and your spouse is in that professional realm or any sector of our business, come by or go to expresstexarkana.com, but please come by our office. Our office is going to have a big training center in the middle. I say big, I think it's 20 by 25 feet, and we're going to utilize that for some training that we're going to do for our customers, supervisory training that we'll partner with a company out of Tyler and a company possibly out of Michigan that may do some, but that'll be for supervisor leadership development, because right now, as we have been talking and everybody talks about, the big key is, that we can get employees, applicants in the door, okay, but the key is we got to retain those.
Right.
So we're thinking that we can help our client companies succeed long-term with having access to this training, leadership development. The other side we're hoping to use that facility for is we work with 5 high schools this year, and focused on kids that are not going to college, that just want to go into the workforce. And we have a 3-part series that we do with those kids. And we've partnered with 4 companies, Smith Blair, Mayo Manufacturing, JCM, and Humco, which is now Pharmanovas.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do plant tours on their 4th class. And what we're trying to do is connect from graduation stage into their careers. And we started it last year, and we were pretty successful, but we just want to build off of that. We have a gentleman that we went through our program, very proud of, that graduated in May. Now he's making 16 plus, with bonuses and all the benefits, and, where he could have been by his life is accelerated.
Right.
And we're very proud of him, very proud of him. I mean, we can't stop talking about how proud we are of him. So we want to take that one, and we want to do 10, 15, impact 15 kids a year. And that'll be good for our companies, and they're very committed to this. So that was the other impact, or the other reason for the decision to make the investment on a bigger location. Okay. And we're up the street on Jefferson, but again, we still, for 32 years, service, Bowie County, Cass, Miller, Hempstead, Hope area, all the way up to Nashville, Atlanta, New Boston. So,
I know just with that alone, there's a ton of families and a ton of communities that you're changing for the better with every person you're putting to work.
Oh, we hope so. We hope so. We want one more each year, one more.
Yeah,
Texarkana is a great place, and these kids deserve great opportunities. And if there's anything in our power to get them there, we're going to do it.
Yeah, that sounds like a really great program. And do you know, is that specific to your location, or other Express locations doing that?
No, I actually met with some other franchise owners and explained to them what we were doing, and I'll give a little breakout on that at the next gathering that we have, what we're doing. And we learned from it last year, but our schools are committed. They want the best for their kids, whether they're going to college, whether they're going into the workforce. And so it's been a great partnership with the schools we worked with. And so I hope it's something that really we can say 5-10 years from now that, we've impacted 200 to 300, families.
Right.
Not just lives, but families.
Yep. That's awesome news. All right. So we mentioned it before, but you can learn more about Express Employment Professionals at their website, expresstexarkana.com. You can see their location, phone numbers, fill out the online application. Anything you need, go to their website. You can also visit our website for information on workforce services at netxworkforce.org. And before we get out of here, Joey, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, just thanks. I mean, I don't think this is made public enough, but the part when we came down here in '97 and was getting started, of course, we had to develop relationships with companies and, get their trust. But the relationship with the Workforce Center has, I've told Jeff before that it's huge. It probably impacted us 50% as far as what we were able to connect through either your classes we volunteered with and helped with, and relationships that, that we have with each other, to where we got people referred to us. But, without a doubt, we wouldn't be as successful as we have been, or we will be, without you guys' help and support.
Right. Well, thank you very much. That means a lot. And the same goes for Express. You guys do so much for us in the Workforce Center and our customers. So we really appreciate everything you do. And thank you for joining us today, too. This was great. A lot of things I didn't know. And hopefully we can inform the community about some of these things as well through this. So I'll just wrap up today by thanking you all for listening. If there's certain topics you want to hear more about, let us know. You can always find this podcast on your favorite podcast platform, or you can watch the video version on YouTube. And please hit subscribe and let us know what you want to hear about. Thank you.